Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of this script reading show podcast that we're doing. Today, we're only joined with Ruby because the other hosts cannot make it. Jasmine is feeling sick today, and Sahara had to take her grandmother to an appointment. So it's just us. And also, we're joined with Serenity. Yay! Who's going to be
We have
joining us?
Serenity.
Who's going to be joining us in this show forever and ever. Well, we're glad to have her because she is one awesome person. Is that right?
Yeah, no, that's right.
You know, whatever.
No.
Okay, so we're going to talk about a read this week. We're going to talk about a Simpsons spec script. So, for those of you who don't know what a spec script is, it's a script that's basically kind of like fan fiction for shows that people would use to audition to producers to see if they can write these previously established characters. So that's what a spec script is. And this one will be on The Simpsons. Now, I got to give some backstory about this particular script because it was written in response to a documentary that was made not that long ago called The Problem with Apu, which dealt with a lot of the stereotypes and kind of the harmfulness that Apu brought within the Indian American community, especially in the entertainment industry. So, and this was written in response to that. So, trigger warning, this might be a tad offensive for people of South Asian Indian descent. So, we're going to tread lightly and try our best. Okay, right, guys?
Yeah, we're gonna try our best. Because who were the writers of The Simpsons that wrote in Apu to begin with?
That would be Matt Groening.
I was gonna say, I bet you they don't have Indian background.
No, yeah, they're all three of them are white. The Simpsons were made by three guys: Matt Groening, James L. Brooks, and Sam Simon. I believe all three of them are white guys.
So you kind of have to take into consideration, when these shows and things are getting written, they're writing it off of their perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily a good thing sometimes, especially in this case, where you could be culture misappropriating.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something to look at, in your future writing, whoever's out there writing right now. Make sure that if you have a character that you're going to use, that you have at least an input from their community themselves.
Yeah. Also, Apu is actually played by, I believe, Hank Azaria, who is a white guy. Now, in Azaria's defense, he says that he really does not like playing the character, especially in recent days, and they have since retired Apu for the last couple of seasons. They just pretend he never existed. So.
Well, that's not right either, though.
Well, there was this one episode near the end where Lisa addresses the audience saying that some things that were considered funny back in the 1980s and 1990s when the Simpsons came out was considered funny and okay, are not considered politically correct and offensive, or just considered offensive now. And they said that these things will be addressed at a later time, if at all. And I think they went with the if at all.
Yeah.
So.
If it was basically if people remember.
Mm-hmm. So, Serenity, why do you look so sad?
She's dazed off. She's over there in her own world.
I can show you. If you guys can see her face, you can say it. Look, because this is her face. You're like this.
I'm always dazed off.
Okay. All right, let's do this thing. So this is what we're gonna do. So, The Simpsons.
But this person wrote this script in response to that documentary, yes. Right? Because they had a thing where they wanted people to try to fix the Apu problem.
Right? Probably. I'm not sure.
Well, that's what I read in the Reddit post that this guy said that he wrote it in response to them asking for people to write their own version of fixing the issue. But then the user said that himself that he had not submitted it yet. So I don't even know if it was ever submitted or even seen by anybody there.
Now, based on the responses in that Reddit, have you read the comments on the Reddit post?
I haven't read the comments.
Well, I can understand why if he didn't, I can understand why, because he was kind of annihilated in the comments. So I chose this particular script because it's considered to be the worst script on that subreddit. So let's get reading. Oh, I need to share my screen. Share entire screen. There it is. All right, so this is The Simpsons. If it ain't a poo, don't fix it. By The One Nerd. What a great name. All right, so I will be doing screen direction. All right, so interior, Springfield, day. We open in front of... Exterior, excuse me. For Springfield day, we open in front of King Toot's music shop. Lisa Simpson walks out of the shop carrying a reusable bag.
And there's no better way to spend a sunny Saturday than a trip to the old music shop.
Lisa reaches into the bag and pulls out a set of newly brought reeds.
And you gotta get in early to get the freshest supply of reeds.
Reeds are what you play with the sax. You put on the saxophone thing where you blow on. That's what a reed is. So Lisa takes a long, full sniff of the reeds.
Arundo Donuts.
I think it's Runodonax.
Arundo Donax. Sorry.
Don't ax, don't tell. So Hari comes in off screen. Hey, they are rather intoxicating, aren't they? Lisa, startled by the voice, turns around to see who it belongs to. We see it as a rather normal-looking Indian man. He is dressed very casually in a t-shirt and jeans and a hoodie. He also wears glasses and has hair that somehow looks unkempt and styled at the same time. He could also stand to lose a few pounds. But hey, none of us are perfect. Him name in Hari. Excuse me, I didn't mean to startle you.
Oh no, it's alright. I'm just not used to others appreciating musical accessories.
Pure insanity. That's what I say to that. Lisa giggles. Are you giggling?
Ha 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 ha.
Good job.
I'm sorry, but I don't think I've ever seen you around town before.
Well, I'm actually in town doing an article about Springfield. The paper I work for likes to highlight places that no one pays attention to anymore and tries to give them a second wind, if you will.
Wow, how exciting. What paper do you work for?
Well, it's not much of a paper anymore. It's more of a collection of websites that specialize in puff pieces and articles about lists of things that everyone remembers, but they pretend they don't.
Oh, I love those lists. They always say no one remembers, but I sure do.
Hari and Lisa both laugh. Ha 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 ha. And Hari extends his hand to Lisa for a handshake. The name is Hari. Lisa accepts the handshake with a smile.
Lisa, pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Lisa.
How are you enjoying Springfield so far?
Well, Lisa, to be honest, I'm not sure where to start.
Would you mind a tour guide? I'm always happy to show what this town can offer.
I suppose I wouldn't mind, but will your parents be cool with you traveling around with a total stranger?
Oh, it'll be fine. I'm probably the most responsible member of my family.
Homer suddenly bursts in front of the door of Moe's. He is clearly intoxicated. Hey, Lisa. Lisa looks embarrassed.
Hi, Dad.
Lisa, I know you're a vegetarian and all that, but if God didn't want us to eat animals, why are they so darn delicious? That was my laundry. That was my dryer. It's over. Okay, so Homer falls to the ground.
That was specifically timed for it to happen whenever you said, why are they so damn delicious?
Yeah.
Because it's like, PETA.
So Homer falls to the ground, passed out.
Come on, let's go.
Is your dad gonna be alright like that? Mo then comes out of the door of Mo's.
Oh, don't worry about him. A bit of rest and he'll be back and drinking in no time.
Oh, geez. Is Mo on the call? Is John Castellaneta here? Because that sounded exactly like him. So Mo smiles creepily at Lisa and Hari until they slowly back away. Exterior, Springfield day. Hari and Lisa walk together down the sidewalk, passing by man, shops, and people.
Now, I admit, Springfield may not be as good as it used to be, but it still has a lot to offer.
Like what?
Well, the people in town always have something interesting going on.
We cut to Cletus in front of his pickup truck, which is part of the side of the road and has a flat.
Dang, I done got another flat. Guess I better get the Jack. Hey, Jack!
Jeez. A slightly overweight redneck jumps out of Cletus's truck bed and check of bed and over to the flat tire. He proceeds to lift the car so that Cletus can start changing the tire. Cut to Ned, Rod, and Todd Flanders. All three of them are chained to the nativity scene that is in front of City Hall. Mayor Quimby and Police Chief Wiggum are standing in front of them.
Come on, Ned. We said you could keep the nativity scene on city property during Christmas, but it's time that came down. Never. Without a year-round nativity scene, this town could descend into sin and depravity. You say that like it's a bad thing. All right, Churchy, I've had just about enough of...
Wiggum goes for his gun, but the holster is empty.
Aw, geez, did someone see a gun around here?
Wiggum looks around desperately for it.
Aw, geez, that's the third one this week.
Cutting back to Hari and Lisa, we see Hari chuckling a bit at the antics he is seeing.
Well, it's a bit of an off day today. Let's explore a bit more.
I'd like to offer a correction. Castellaneta did not play Mo. It was actually Hank Azaria who played Mo. Okay, anyway. Exterior android's dungeon. Hari and Lisa enter the android's dungeon together.
We, of course, have a thriving nerd community with some of the brightest young minds.
We move from the front door. We see comic book guy standing in his usually placed behind the counter. Martin, Database, and Millhouse stand on the other side of the counter. They are all in the middle of conversation. I think we can all agree that in the worst tragedy to befell mankind in the last decade was casting girls to play Ghostbusters. Lol, lol, lol. Other nerds all nod their heads in agreement. Am I Millhouse too? Yeah. What do girls know about nerd stuff anyway? Suddenly, rather nerdy-looking girl we have never seen before walks up the counter. She appears to be 18 and has a streak of blue in her hair.
Excuse me. I was wondering if you had a copy of Amazing Spider-Man. Number 300. The first appearance of Venom. Although I know he actually first appeared in issue 299, but that was more cameo. Plus, I already have that one.
The nerds are flabbergasted at the sight of a girl who knows her stuff, and they begin to stammer. We cut back to Lisa and Hari again. Lisa looks a bit nervous at the sight, but Hari is laughing more at the boys' awkwardness.
Moving on.
Exterior, Springfield Elementary day. Hari and Lisa walk just outside of Springfield Elementary.
And here we have our elementary school. Of course, I'm one of its top students.
Lisa gives a bit of a humble brag as she motions to the school. Oh, I don't doubt that. Hari points to the distance. Who is that? Lisa looks over to see Hari is point to groundskeeper Willie, who is currently raking leaves of the school lawn.
Oh, that's our school groundskeeper, Willie.
Willie finishes up his raking.
Aye, another day's work done. Just in time for me daily backpack practice.
Okay. Willie walks a bit to grab his bagpipe and begins to play, but after a few notes, the bag of his instrument seems to pop, spewing air out and ruining the tone. Willie becomes angry and begins to randomly rant.
Give me pipe! The only thing that brings me joy in this world.
He continues to rant as Hari laughs a bit more.
Oh boy. We can try another place.
Exterior Springfield day. Lisa and Hari walk down another sidewalk. Lisa looks a little disappointed.
I'm sorry, Eddie. I wanted to show Springfield at its best, but I was only able to find its flaws.
Wait, who's Addie?
I know. What the heck?
No idea.
Lisa.
No wonder this guy got freaking told in the comments.
Okay, so what did you say, Ruby?
I said, no wonder this guy got told off in the comments.
Really? What makes you say that?
His script is all like badly written. The grammar and the proofreading and all that spell check.
Yeah. Okay. Lisa, sometimes the little flaws are what make the town great.
Huh?
Sure, you can say this town is full of tired stereotypes and extremely quirky people, but that's kind of what gives it its charm. Even your dad, a fat, balding drunk, if it isn't Scream Right Suburbia, I don't know what does. Lisa is a bit confused by it, but she shakes it off.
Well, I'm glad that you liked it. I hope you will be kind to us in your article.
Oh, don't worry, I have a lot to work with. By the way, do you have somewhere around here where I could get a snack or something? Beep, bop, boop.
Oh, sure. We're actually coming up on the Kiwik Mart now.
Quickie Mart. Quickie Mart, Serenity.
Yeah, she just said it.
Oh, she did? I didn't hear you. Okay, Quick E Mart, question mark? Hari says each of these words with a pause, like an act of saying it is hard. Lisa and Hari come to the Quickie Mart.
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine owns it. If there is someone who can show you what is so great about this town, it's him.
Well, if he's a friend of yours, or if he's a friend on yours, I'm sure he will be entertaining as well. Again, this confuses Lisa. Interior, Quickie Mart day. Hari and Lisa walk into the Quickie Mart just as someone else leaves it.
Thank you. Come again.
Don't do the accent, please.
No, well, I think I have to because there's a part later on where Apu doesn't have an accent.
All right, that's your choice. Okay, so
That's the only reason why I'm doing it.
Okay, so Hari reacts with his voice with confusion. What was? He swung around to reveal Apu. Yay! The star, standing around the corner with a smile on his face.
Good evening, friend. How can I help you today?
Hello, Pooh.
Elisa rushes up to the counter to greet her friend, and Apu's smile seems to get bigger.
Well, hello, Lisa. I hope today finds you well.
Apu notices Hari.
And who is your friend?
Hari looks visually shocked at what he is seeing.
This is Hari. He's writing an article about Springfield.
Oh, how exciting. Well, I'm always happy to see new faces. What is it that I can get you today? Perhaps a nice cold squishy or maybe a delicious hot dog. They come in both pork and vegan options if you would prefer.
Hari continues to say nothing.
You okay, sir?
No, I am not Apu. Hari says Apu's name with so much venom that it is practically dripping from his mouth. Okay. Oh, I'm not. In fact, I would dare say I am very much not okay.
What's wrong, Hari? Yes, did I come on a little strong in the sales pitch? You can gladly browse at your leisure, but remember, this is not a library. Please keep magazine reading to 2 pages or less.
My name is Addie now.
What's up, Bree?
I can't believe this is actually happening. An Indian working at a convenience store, if my name ain't Addie.
I don't quite know what you mean.
Just look at you, that voice, your job. You're a walking stereotype. Ah. Hari is getting a bit angry now.
Forgive me, sir, but that is more than a little insulting.
You sound like some white guy would think an Indian sounds like.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Just because he doesn't sound like what you think he should.
Oh, please, let me guess. You don't see race, right? Only a racist wouldn't find an issue with all this. Okay.
Hey, now.
Now Apu is getting angry.
If you have a problem with me, then that is fine, sir, but don't take it out on my friend.
It's people like you that make it harder for the rest of us, putting on a show for the white man. Indians are capable of so much more than this. Than this instead of than this. Yep.
Well, sure, I don't have the best job, but I have a wife and 8 kids to support.
8 kids? Does it never end with you? I don't suppose that was an arranged marriage.
Well, actually,
You're a disgrace. Apu and Lisa look shocked. You're a disgrace to our entire race and our culture. You should be ashamed of all this. Harry gestures to the entirety of the Quickie Mart. He then begins to leave the store. I definitely have everything I need now. The whole country's gonna learn about this racist little town now. Hari walks out of the Quickie Mart, and there is a beat as Apu looks crushed. Lisa looks over at Apu, clearly worried.
Are you okay?
No, that's your dying. Never mind.
I don't know. Was he right, Lisa? Am I a stereotype?
Lisa does not know how to answer this.
Well, I wouldn't say a full-blown stereotype, and even if you are, there is not anything wrong with that.
Not
anything wrong. I'm making my whole race look bad. Does the whole town think that all Indians just work at convenience stores?
What? Just because one Indian works in one, that's a bit of reach, don't you think?
I think I need some time to think. Sanjay!
Sanjay appears from off screen. He was apparently there the whole time.
You must cover for me while I work all of this out.
I will care for the store as if it were my own house.
Wait, I just realized all the employees here are Indian. Oh, this is worse than I thought.
Apu rushes out of the Quickie Mart. Lisa looks after him sadly.
So, are you gonna buy something or not?
Interior, Apu's home, night. We see Apu sitting on a couch in his living room, shoulders slump and looking quite down. He sighs in sadness.
Am I really an embarrassment? Just a joke to my people and my culture?
Apu's wife, Manjula, comes into frame and sits down with Apu on the couch.
Okay, this is going to be me going back and forth, but whatever. What are you talking about? How could you even think you are an embarrassment? This young Indian man came into the Quickie Mart today. He called me a stereotype. Oh, that's just crazy talk. Who is he to say how a person should act? You're a loving husband and father, and you provide a service to this town. But that is the point. I provide a service in a convenience store. I graduated the top of my class in India. I studied under the best minds in Springfield, but I am just a clerk. Just a clerk? The Quickie Mart is your passion. You own your business. Oh, yes, look at me, the king of the hot dog roller. Well, I'm not doing it anymore.
Apu stands up from the couch and looks determined.
I am going to be a better person and change myself to better fit the times of today, to create a better future for my kids.
Exterior, Quickie Mart day. We see Lisa walking up to the entrance of the Quickie Mart. She seems concerned and wants to see Apu. She is also holding a small covered dish.
I hope Apu is doing all right, but nothing cheers up someone more than my homegrown tofu loaf.
Interior Quickie Mart day. Lisa walks through the door on the Quickie Mart.
Apu?
Apu pops out from behind the counter and the sound of Lisa's voice. Apu speaks, but the voice is not what it normally is. He had gotten rid of all traces of his accent.
Hello, Lisa. How are you this morning?
Lisa is shocked by Apu's voice change.
Apu, are you all right?
Of course. Why do you ask?
Well, your voice seems different.
Why does Serenity sound like she's far away?
What?
It sounds like Serenity's like far away.
She's literally right here in the
Really?
same space that I am.
Okay. All right, let's continue.
Well, my old voice was a bit too stereotypical, so I decided to suppress it for something more generic and acceptable. Don't you think that's a little extreme? You can't just change who you are. I have to, Lisa. My voice was making others uncomfortable, so I have to change. But don't worry, you won't have to hear it for long. Why is that? Because I will be closing down the Quickie Mart and moving away from Springfield to do something good for the world.
Lisa is shocked to hear this.
Moving? You can't just leave. I'm wasting my life and my potential here. I need to leave and do the thing I came to this country to do in the first place. But you can't just leave, Apu. This town needs you. You're the backbone of Springfield. No, Lisa, I'm just a disgraced stereotype. The only thing I can do is change myself and leave. I have failed my family, my culture, and my people. Now, please, I have to finish up some work on the store closure. Thank you, and...
Apu sets up for his thank you, come again. But he stops himself. He looks sad and thought never being able to thank customers. Okay? And ask them to come again, ever again. What a poet.
Never mind. Just thank you for coming.
Apu turns away from Lisa to work on some paperwork on the counter, and Lisa pauses for a second, devastated. She turns around and leaves the Quickie Mart. Exterior Quickie Mart day. Lisa leaves through the front door of the Quickie Mart, still looking sad. As the sliding door closes behind her, she starts to tear up just a bit. But she quickly shakes away the tears and gets determined.
No, this is no time to cry. I have to save Apu.
Lisa runs off screen, very determined. Interior Quickie Mart afternoon. We cut back inside the Quickie Mart. We can see him from the lighting outside that is much later in the day. The sun is setting. Apu is standing behind the counter looking a bit sad. We hear the front door slid open. Apu looks over to see Hari walking in.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, I heard a few people around town that you're closing and moving out of town.
Yes, I thought about what you said. I am an embarrassment. I am a disgrace.
I'm glad you finally see my point. Now kiss my feet.
I have lived in this town since I first came to America. I was married here, had my children here, made so many friends and even more great memories here.
Yeah, that's great and all, but there's no place for someone like you anymore. I appreciate you working to change what makes you you, but you really gotta speed it up here. Apu looks at the ground and starts to shuffle out of the door of the Quickie Mart as Hari looks on with a smug look on his face. Exterior Quickie Mart afternoon. Apu exits the Quickie Mart, still looking at the ground.
Apu!
Apu looks up to see Lisa standing in front of him, and behind Lisa was what looks to be the entire town of Springfield. Notably, some of the most blatant stereotype characters are in the front. This includes Groundskeeper Willie, Akira, Luigi, Fat Tony, and the rest of the Mafia, Krusty, Barney, and of course the rest of the Simpsons family.
What are...
At the sight of the townspeople in front of him, Apu breaks back into his normal voice, but quickly realizes what he is doing and goes back to hiding it.
I mean, what are you all doing here? They all came to ask you not to leave.
The crowd of people all agree to give random please do not leave.
While I appreciate the sentiment, it's too late. This town will be much better if I leave.
What are you talking about? You're the backbone of this town, Apu.
Yeah, without you being open 24/7, how could I ever get a snack on the way home from a late night at Moe's?
Barney burps.
Yeah.
And where would I get the frozen burritos that you so graciously order for me in bulk? As a representative of the most Italian American community in Springfield, I speak for all of us when I say that losing you would leave a hole in all our lives. That's Fat Tony, by the way.
Fat Tony, that's your Fat Tony.
Well, I'm not trying
You
to
should
do
have
it.
gone slower and be like, as a representative of most of the Italian American community.
Okay. And as the representative of the rest of the Italian American community in Springfield, I must concur. That's Luigi, by the way.
Arr, the lights of the Quickie Mart are like a lighthouse cutting through the fog.
You're one rootin' tootin' cowpoke. I would gladly take or even shoot a bullet for you. That's the rich Texan. The rich Texan gives a yee-haw and shoots his pistols into the air.
Oh, yes, honey. You are one hot slice of chocolate cake.
Okay. Yes, you are truly a man of honor.
Honor.
And distinction. Akira laughs in his not unlike George Taki way. He misspelled Takai. He spelled George Taki. I guess he's like the founder of the Takis chips.
Oh my god. You may be a godless heathen, but as godless heathens go, you are by far the best I have ever met.
Well, you see, Apu, each of us has something about us that some might consider embarrassing. An over-exaggeration, or even what some might call a stereotype. But that does not make us any less important. Each of us makes this town great, and each one of us needs each other.
Apu takes a moment to look around at all of the friends that surround him. He starts to get a little teary-eyed and sniffles, looking like he is about to cry. Oh, please. The townspeople all gasp as Hari exits the Quickie Mart. Are all of you blind or just that stupid? This man is everything wrong with this town and, quite frankly, this country. It's people like him that make things so difficult for me growing up.
Why is that exactly?
Well, people like him make the rest of us look bad. People start to think all Indians are convenience stores workers, taxi drivers, or whatever.
I still don't see why that is Apu's problem. He's just one man. Why does one man in a random town have to represent all Indians?
You know what? I'm not going to stand here and explain myself to a little girl. What matters here is that there is a problem with Apu, that documentary I made, and he has to go. The townspeople are starting to get angry. A few more minutes, and we may be in for another one of Springfield's infamous riots. But before they could get worked up into much of a frenzy, Apu steps forward to confront Hari. He has a look of determination on his face, and when he speaks, his voice is now firmly back to normal.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the thing again.
Okay.
No, sir. I think the only problem here is you. We Indians have come a long way from when I first came to this country. Indians thrive in all aspects of our different communities, even in the entertainment industry. Yet you still choose to pick on one man who never intended to hurt anyone. All I want to do is live my life and do it in a way that makes me happy.
It doesn't matter what you intend to do or not. The fact is, you are offensive and you are a problem.
Then how about you just come to Springfield? People have been coming here for almost 30 years and no one has had a problem with anything I have done. I'm supposed to just change everything about myself just because one random man has a problem?
I have a lot of very famous friends who would have the same problems with you that I do.
Then they are free not to visit either.
Apu looks again over the town's people of Springfield.
And let me tell you something, buddy. This town makes me happy. Its people makes me happy. My wife and children make me happy.
We cut to Manjula and the Octoblets all standing around her, all of them looking at Apu with love in their eyes.
I realize that now. I hate that I ever, even for a second, considered leaving this town or tried to change who I am.
The townspeople of Springfield all cheer and clap.
Now, Hari, I say to you, thank you and don't come again.
Gladly, I don't want to spend another minute in this racist town with all you racists. Hari jumps into a nearby car and drives away. As he does, he yells out the window, "Racist!" After Hari leaves, Manjula and the octuplets run up to Apu. Manjula and Apu kiss.
I'm glad you came to your senses, Apu. So am I, Manjula. So am I. We're done!
And that's the end of If Ain't Apu, Don't
Happy
Fix
birthday!
You know, I don't know what this guy was doing. I don't know if he was either trying to make fun of people who are like Hari, or if he was actually trying to address a problem like that, because that's definitely not how you address a problem, by calling everybody racist.
it. Yeah. So, what did we think about this script?
It's bad.
Really? How so?
If the Simpsons would never air that. Like, it lacked a lot of development.
And it lacks Timothy Chalamet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so like what else? Why do you think Fox would not air this episode?
Well, that's like what I was just saying. It lacks a lot of development, a lot of thought process. It seems like that guy is just there to just point fingers at every stereotype, but mainly at Apu's stereotype. So it's like, why are you going to just go pick on this one guy just because you're Indian as well, I guess? But like the explanations that were given are very, very lacking, you know?
So
On why he should change. Like, I think this story could be written a whole lot better, with some facts and stuff to back it up.
okay, like what would you use to fix it?
I mean, so the documentary that came out about the problem with the poo, I haven't seen it, but I'm assuming it's about him being misrepresented, right? As like him being represented as a stereotype Indian, right?
Right.
But at the same time, the same could be said for all the other characters, because the other characters like Fat Tony, Willie, Cletus, the redneck, like they're all being portrayed stereotypically. Like that's basically what The Simpsons is.
Okay, so you are not on Hari's side.
No, I don't think so. And if they're gonna go back and like say, oh, we need to fix Apu, then you're gonna be like, well, then you also need to fix all the other characters who are also stereotypes. Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna fix everybody?
Yeah, for us it would be Bumblebee Man. Remember that guy?
Yeah. The one that's dressed in the Bumblebee suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has that Hispanic, kind of accent or whatever. I mean, yeah, that show is full of stereotypes.
Okay.
That's what's supposed to make it funny, though, right?
Yeah, but the and I think what this guy was trying to do with this film, with this script, was to convey what you took out of it, Hari as unjustified. So in that respect,
and I think like the way that they could fix Apu is by just doing the fix and having an actual Indian person play him, and maybe have Apu do something else other than just own the Quickie Mart. Like he says here in this script that he graduated top of his class out of India and stuff like that. So that's a good thing that they could work off of. They could work off of that and be like, okay, we're going to also get him to start a company doing something else or whatever it may be, so that they can get him out of that stereotype.
Okay.
And get an Indian person to play him, like.
So
I think that's what they could do.
Yeah. So Serenity, what do you think of this script?
It lacks Timothy Chalamet.
Oh my gosh, other than that.
I don't know. It lacks Finn Wolfhard.
Oh my gosh.
It was. I didn't really like it.
You didn't like it?
I mean,
why not?
it was just kind of boring, and the grammar was like really bad.
Right. What did you guys think about the grammar? What about you?
And it was kind of, you know, boring in the sense that they're just walking around town, you know, and just looking at everybody. They're just literally, this whole script is them judging everybody that they walk by.
Right. So, like, if somebody were to, like, since this is this guy's proposal of how the Simpsons could quote unquote fix a poo, and his thing is that it doesn't need to be fixed, it's fine the way it is. And you've expressed reason that is not a good reason, and you suggested ways for for a poo to actually be fixed in the show.
Yeah, well, the thing is that you can't just acknowledge that a poo is the only stereotype, because you have a bunch of stereotypes in the show.
So, final question. Would you option this script?
No, definitely not.
Okay, why not?
We just explained why not.
Okay, I was hoping you would get me more.
Mainly because it's garbagely written, you know, like he had Harvey's name changing to Addie.
Oh yeah,
and then
what
it
was
would
that
go back
about?
to Harvey. So that's confusing, and he like had a split personality disorder.
Yeah.
Like it seems like he was choosing between those two names and he forgot to fix it, you know.
Yeah, but the Hari is his actual name. So I don't think that was the case. And I think Addie was probably a character from another script he was writing, and
he got confused.
He got confused, yeah. And like it auto-corrected, the software auto-corrected to Addie, and he just never saw it again.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So, yep. Work harder on it. This is not a judgment of you as a person, is that right?
What do you mean?
Like,
to the writer?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think he just lacks perspective.
So keep on writing, keep on improving, and hopefully you will make a great script.
What script are we going to do next time?
I will discuss this after we wrap.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
That's it. Bye.
Hope you guys enjoyed my somewhat good accents, because I suck at accents. Bye. Shiver me timbers.
That's a great accent.